This is the Tallahassee Business Podcast, bringing you engaging conversations with influential members of the community that you need to know. This episode is brought to you by The Health Network. The Health Network is an innovative advertising platform with more than 30 digital monitors and almost a dozen different medical waiting rooms throughout Tallahassee. With a diverse mix of medical practices, The Health Network provides advertisers unmatched visibility to a highly engaged audience while directly connecting with target consumers through static and video ads. To learn how your business can effectively reach over 60,000 patients and guests per month, visit thnadvertising.com.
Well, hello, everybody. We're very excited to bring this podcast recording to you, and I'm thrilled to have Dionte Gavin here with us, who wears several hats within our community. We're going to talk about Leadership Tallahassee, affiliated program of the Chamber of Commerce, and we are getting into the 40th year. We're going to talk about application process, but Dionte, it's good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too.
Thank you so much. And like I said earlier, you are very much involved in the community. So let's take a step back and talk about Dionte first.
Sure.
And then we'll talk about Leadership Tallahassee.
Sure.
So tell our listeners a little bit about you, how you found yourself in Tallahassee.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sue, and it's great to be here. I am a Wakulla native. I grew up in Wakulla County. And came up for undergrad at Florida State, and I studied international affairs and finance, and then started work at the clerk's office there in finance, and worked there for 17 years. Somewhere in that process, I went back to Florida State and got my master's in public administration. And so my passion really has been public policy, administration, local government, and finance. And somewhere also in there, I've been pretty social as well. And so life happens and blessings come, and I was able to stumble upon, I guess I should say, not really stumble, but it's been a blessing, the job with the Leon County Division of Tourism, also known as Visit Tallahassee. And in that role, I'm operations director, but I get to still have the finance and budget, but also have the social aspect of that to promote this great city that we all call home.
Well, great that we've kept you within the region. You probably could be at any other city anywhere in the country, so we're glad that you're here. Let's just talk a few minutes. Tell us about Visit Tallahassee. Tell us how we're doing. We care as a chamber because it's economic development. It's promoting our community. What are you seeing out there, especially now that we're on the other side, hopefully, fingers crossed, of COVID?
I'm seeing momentum, or we are seeing momentum a lot in our sports tourism. We just had our biggest cross-country season ever out at Appalachia Regional Park, where we welcomed tens of thousands of athletes and their families here to our community, and had around $10.5 million in economic impact. And so when we look at that, and we look at that momentum, which we're building on, we hope to hear if we've also won the world's cross country.
Wow.
We put in that bid and should know within several weeks if we have been selected for the 2026 World's Cross Country Championship right here in Tallahassee to welcome the world here. So when we look at that, we look at all of the great assets we have here to promote our natural resources. We have a tagline we call pretty and unexpected. Tallahassee is pretty and also very unexpected. And so when we look at all those things, we have a great place to market to visitors to come and visit. And while they're here, stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants, and visit our attractions.
Absolutely, and build the local economy.
Sure.
Well,
yes.
you and Carrie and the entire team, you all do a great job.
Thank you.
And we'll listen the next several weeks when we hear a shout out
Yes.
coming from downtown. We'll know we've
Yes,
got it.
yes.
So that would be great.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk about Leadership Tallahassee, but we wanted to show the background of
Sure.
Leadership Tallahassee graduates, which is what you are, Class 38. The Chamber of Commerce, before my time and with great leadership, decided it would be really important to put together a leadership program, really an opportunity to bring together individuals from the community to spend a little bit of time together but make lifelong relationships together.
Sure.
It's what I've experienced in my 21 years. I'm a Class 16 graduate. So exciting time. Now's that window where the word is getting out, and we wanted to make sure we gave a chance for you as a graduate and someone who's seen what that program can do to talk about it.
Sure.
And see what our listeners can do if they're interested in finding out more.
Sure. And I will say, I've done leadership training and et cetera, and I'd heard about Leadership Tallahassee through a friend, Sam Lobick, at an event that I was at several years prior to me applying, and she said, you should really check this program. I don't know if she even remembers that, but I went and did some Googling and thought, well, let me step back and see when that right time is. But as you say, the program really is about people wanting to collaborate to move Tallahassee forward in the right direction. And there are people in my LT38 class, I like to call them, we're the freshest class ever. I know that most people say the best class, but we're the freshest class. But there are people in that class that I do now consider lifelong friends, and professional networking that I would have not had a chance or maybe had access to from different industries and sectors in the community. That we were able to really build relationships personally as well as professionally. And that's really what the program has meant to me, both professionally as well as personal relationships, because as I say, I'm pretty social as well. So I feel like that speaks to the program as well. So, and again, it's people that maybe they don't look like me. They may not have grown up in Wakulla. They may have grown up elsewhere. Mm-hmm. They may not worship like me. They may not have the same education I have, but our common goal is to move Tallahassee forward and collaborate on those program days and discuss those things.
Yeah. Well, thanks for giving the shout out to Sam Lobick. I mean, we're lucky Chamber to have her on our team here. But I think that's what's so important. And if you've gone through Leadership Tallahassee, or if you've been in a Leadership Tallahassee program in another community, you can affiliate into Leadership Tallahassee and participate. I mean, I think part of this, and what we hope in just the short time we have, is to encourage people to find out more about it. You're going to touch on some upcoming dates.
Sure.
And to also understand why the leadership program is so important and why, as a Chamber of Commerce, we created that. Because, as you stated, it was a way to bring together our community, to move our community forward and develop leaders. And so many times leaders walked into that room already, but how to have them work together. So was there anything that just surprised you from the experience when you went through?
Yes, I would say probably everything. I do, as I said on the onset of the conversation, I have the fortunate privilege to promote Tallahassee and talk about all the good that Tallahassee is. And one of the things that I found profound about the program is that we could talk about all of Tallahassee, and the relevant issues and challenges that we face, but not just challenges, opportunities that we have to move us in a right direction and path. And so that was pretty much a profound moment for me to talk about not just the north side, but the south side, the west side, and the east side of the community, and things that impact each side, on Education Day, on Workforce Development Day, all of those particular program days that we bring in industry experts to tell us about those relevant issues.
Well, and I think it's important when people hear Leadership Tallahassee, and we're specifically talking about an upcoming application process for Class 40, which is going to celebrate the 40 years of Leadership Tallahassee.
Yes.
I think it's important for people to realize, and you can maybe frame this between the retreat and the days and just what that experience might look like. You have already by touching on some of the days, but for the individuals that are listening saying, I think I might want to apply, what are they actually applying for?
So they're applying for a year-long program that starts out with an 2-day opening retreat. And then from the opening retreat, there's program days that are, as I did touch on, they may focus on arts and culture in the community, or economic development, or education, or social justice. I can remember I was thinking back on one of our social justice days in Agnes Fury, and that story. And if the listeners don't know, can Google that story. And she came and spoke to our class about restorative justice and how that impacted us. And I could remember leaving that day, that program day, and I sat in silence for an hour because I thought about all the good that she talked about, forgiving someone who had murdered, her daughter. But those are the type of issues that we talk about, the real issues. And so yeah.
So that we've got some deadlines coming up.
Sure.
So important. And then how can people get involved or learn more?
Excuse me. Well, they can go to leadershiptallahassee.com. We're excited that you can now apply online. We will have a program preview party March 23rd at Bricks and Brass. We also will have an application workshop on March 9th. We will have some coffees, some social hours that are a little bit more intimate so that, people that have questions about the program or may feel hesitant can certainly hear from myself and other alums about their experience, and we can answer some of their questions.
And through that process, a lot of us that are graduates get asked questions. Any helpful hints that you would put forward to the listeners that are considering?
Sure. I would say speak to what sets you apart and speak to your love and passion for Tallahassee and Leon County, the community. That's been my advice is, there may be several lawyers, but what about you as an attorney or a lawyer that sets you apart from everybody else? Mm-hmm. So during that application process, really lay it bare. And that's what some advice that I was given, that, my upbringing and childhood and all the things that my education and everything that has made me who I am, I laid it bare in the application. And hopefully that's why I was selected. But, I was pretty honest and candid.
Mm-hmm. And I remember going through, if we were ever late to one of those program days, we had to sing. Do you all still do that?
Yes, we certainly do.
Do you know how to sing?
A little bit.
Okay, fair enough. I've heard that you can rock it. Well, Dionte, thanks so much. And again, we hope our listeners, if they are graduates, remind them to spread the word.
Yes.
That this is really important. As you said, it's a diverse group of community leaders.
Yes, it is.
In all aspects of diversity, age, nationality, mm-hmm. gender, race. But it's also a way to see our community via the business, through the universities,
yes.
all of the program days you've outlined. It is really comprehensive, and I think it's a program. Well, I know it's a program we're all so proud of, but
yes.
proud of the graduates mostly.
Absolutely.
So, Dionte, thanks for taking the time, and thanks for being a spokesperson for Leadership Tallahassee.
Thank you. And I will say that I talked to Barbara, and I'm asking alum when they post about their experience, they use the hashtag #MyLTExperience and give like 2 or 3 sentences about your experience in Leadership Tallahassee so that people who may be thinking about applying will know what your experience was.
That's
so
awesome.
To all the alums, use hashtag #MyLTExperience.
Well, I know Barbara Boone, you did great as
Yes.
far as plugging everything that she would hope to be plugged for the program. But Dionte, again, thanks so much.
Yes, thank you, sir.